Hello, everyone, and welcome to iCritic Live. Technically, this is the podcast where we talk about entertainment, pop culture, and life in between. I'm your host, Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and I am also the host of another YouTube channel called The Entrepreneur, which was actually my first big success and was a huge success for several years after I more or less abandoned it and kind of just updated sporadically. The reason I am bringing that up is because this is the first video slash live stream of the new year. And originally I had wanted to film some videos and, properly edit them and things like that and put them on each of the respective channels. But, well, I got sick. And I'm still kind of recovering from that. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or not, but I'm still kind of sick. And I decided, you know what? I'll start the new year with a live stream. A live stream where I talk about what the new year is I'm hoping to bring to all the channels and the podcast. Maybe answer some questions if people want to ask them. Maybe we'll do some hangout. I don't know how long this is going to be, but if you're listening to the podcast or watching the video, the first 15 minutes will be the most important. That's where everything is going to be discussed. Now, let's start with the Entrepreneur channel, because that one, there's probably the least amount of stuff going on. I haven't fully abandoned the channel, but it is clear that my focus has been elsewhere as that channel basically died. Now, I'm not going to gripe and moan about that. That's not what this is. I mean, if people want to know what happened to that channel, what happened to the channel is that basically I just got really tired of talking about Uber and the gig economy and things like that. I tried making some new stuff, and despite the audience saying that they would follow me wherever I went, they didn't, or the algorithm stopped promoting it because the channel was trying to go in a different direction. And again, that's fine. I talked to some of the people when I started doing new stuff, and they admitted they just were not interested in that stuff. They wanted a certain type of content, and they weren't getting, and when they didn't get it, they didn't watch it. But I didn't want to make that content, so the Entrepreneur channel has kind of been in a weird limbo ever since then. I do occasionally make uploads, and in fact, a recent upload I did called Father's Office, Home of the Discrimination Burger, that's actually stuff that I would like to start putting more on the Entrepreneur channel. I would like to start putting more editorial rants on various things. Hey, Callie Reading Teacher, thank you for joining us. I would like to talk about big events, maybe even some politics on that channel. I might actually kind of turn it into an AI discussion channel, if only because AI, which is getting very big, obviously, is also having some negative side effects for things in your everyday life that you might not be aware of. And I think those topics will definitely be worth talking about when the time comes. So I'm not going to completely give up on the Entrepreneur channel, but right now it's kind of a voiceless channel. It doesn't have a stated purpose in mind. It just is whatever I want it to be right now, and that's kind of where I make videos almost for myself. You might see some life update videos there. Hello, William. I wish I could. Why is this having a hard time? There we go. Hi, William. Like you might see some life updates on that channel because, when I was going through many important life milestones in my life, it wound up on that channel instead of the iCritic channels I currently run. And certainly there's a huge life event that I want to discuss with everyone. I kind of feel guilty not talking about it, but I have to wait for a certain time before I can actually discuss it. But I do want to share the update because many of the people who are still subscribed saw me through some major things in my life, and some things changed through tragedy or other things like that. So I would like to share those when the time is right. Interestingly, because of my work situation, which despite all the jokes early on that I was like some fat kid living in his parents' basement, I have not lived with my parents for more than 10 years. And in fact, I even had my own place for a while, but because of those life changes, one of them being employment, first of all, my living situation changed. I'm not with my parents, but, it's definitely changed a little bit. And I actually might have to do some Uber Eats again to make a little extra money until my job situation stabilizes. That is very ironic. Maybe I will make some videos about what it's like to go back to Uber after having put it behind me for so long, because this is the one thing that the gig economy apps are actually really good at. In a pinch, you can make a little extra money to keep your head above the water. It's when you make it a career that I was definitely speaking out against it and was trying to tell people that this is not a sustainable career. And sure enough, pretty much everyone, including the rideshare revolution, no longer does it full time for the most part. So, it is what it is. But in a pinch, we need a few extra bucks. It could be handy. So I might make some videos on the Entrepreneur channel talking about that. Needless to say, I don't know. There's not going to be a schedule for the Entrepreneur channel right now. There are videos planned for the channel. I just don't 100% know what they're going to be. That channel is definitely been through the ringer, but it still has a lot of followers, and they still check in on me from time to time, which I appreciate. So I will keep updating that channel. It's just not going to be a frequently updated channel. Now then, let's talk about the iCritic Media channel, which is kind of the sister channel to the iCritic channel. First of all, there's not going to be really any changes made to iCritic Media. It's still going to be unboxings, and it's still going to be where the iCritic Live podcast finds its home after the fact. Now, I do have a lot more interviews for the podcast lined up. I'm going to be talking to more authors, more animators, more people in the movie industries, maybe some voice actors. I've got some big plans. In fact, many of you who watched my live stream with Pat Conke on the Donald Trump documentary God and Country, a lot of you had very positive reception to that, and Pat has agreed to come back. I don't know if it's going to be on a semi-regular basis. I would love for that to happen, but at least he's going to come back one more time, and we're going to talk about another movie. This one's not going to be as politically charged, but it will be, at the very least, religiously charged in some ways. So if you want to join us for that discussion, we're going to be discussing the movie Wake Up Dead Man, directed by Ryan Johnson, and it is streaming on Netflix. So if you want to watch that before the live stream and participate in the conversation, that's going to be coming up in a couple weeks. I will schedule that when the time is appropriate. Excuse me. See, my nose is still a little stuffy. But otherwise, the iCritic Media channel is not going to have too many additional changes. You'll still get unboxings, and you will still get the podcast there. And yes, see, a Cali reading teacher, she recommends it. I recommend it. So, there you go. So that's what's going to happen there. Now, the iCritic channel is going to more or less continue as well, but there are going to be new series, new features, and we are going to beef up production. First of all, we are going to continue the Best Animated Feature Oscar retrospectives, although there will be a slight delay. The next episode will not show up until late February, early March. Now, that's for a couple of reasons. One, there's a few new videos that I want to put up first, and those videos will be taking the spots of those videos. Also, there was a little bit of a delay in writing the scripts for a couple of them, so they got made late. And probably the biggest reason, the next few years lean heavily into Disney and Studio Ghibli films, which, if you are aware of the copyright systems on YouTube, are especially prone to getting copyright claimed on this channel now. I will beat every single one of them. I have, but that being said, it takes a while for those appeals to go through. So rather than just, you know, how should I put this? Rather than just keep making posts that say, "Oh, it's been delayed," I'm just going to prematurely delay them. I'm going to try to get a few episodes finished in advance, so by the time they go up, it's gone through that already, and there is no need to have a delay. We will also be finishing the commentary on the shorts that have won the Oscar for Best Animated Short Film. I think we got up to the 70s, and I kind of paused at the 80s. We're going to continue with the 80s and 90s and eventually the new millennium until present day. That I plan to get back on track. And in fact, the next episode is even finished, and you should see it sometime in January. Now, the big features that are going to take up in January is because, hey, it is not only Oscar season, it is the beginning of a new year, which means it's time for the best and worst films of the year. Now, we have typically been doing these episodes with Rachel from Rachel's Reviews. I'm not going to do that for my best and worst list this year. There's been no fallout, nothing whatsoever. In fact, I hope she comes back to do our yearly We Pick the Winners thing that I like to do. But I kind of just want to try something new this time. I want to, share the worst films of the year without any discussion, if you will, and the best films of the year without any naysaying, if you will. And by the way, I'm sure she would like that too. She does that. She, aside from coming onto my show to talk about it, she talks about her best and worst films of the year alone. Now, I'm not opposed to debating our lists later on. I'm just trying something new this time. And again, I hope that she would come back with the for the if we picked the winners episode, because that's a fun episode to do every single year. Also, because Oscar season's coming up, we're going to see a lot more prediction videos. I'll probably do live reactions to the Oscar nominations, which I've largely not done, but I'm going to do them this year. And, commenting on like Golden Globes and stuff like that. So when you just look at all of that, it's going to be kind of hard to fit those best animated feature Oscar retrospectives into January and February. I do want to pick up the schedule where I'm uploading one substantial long form video a week, in addition to the various out of theater reaction shorts that I do every single week. And by the way, you guys have really enjoyed them, so I am going to continue doing them. I feel a little awkward doing them. You pull a camera, you walk, you pick up you pick up the camera and you walk around theater and you kind of talk to it, and people are looking at you like, well, what the heck are you doing? So, but you guys really enjoy them, so I'm going to continue doing them. I might actually see a movie tonight, so you might see an out of theater reaction tonight. No promises on that one, but you can. So that's what's going to happen there. And of course, the long awaited Exploring the Criterion Collection series will begin in either late February or mid-March. I have not decided yet. That one, I do have a few episodes already finished, and they are just waiting to be published. I'm just going to have to see how the schedule works out. But I hope you guys enjoy that series, because, one of the problems with oh, sorry about that, everyone. Little technical hiccup there. But one of the issues with movie punditry, if you will, is that it is heavily leaning towards newer movies and stuff like that. That's why you see some of these bigger YouTube channels that have niche little things also talking about Marvel movies and box office and things like that, because it gets views. It's really hard to make content about classic Hollywood and things like that. So I would like to I hope you guys join me and you share those videos and you like them and you comment on them, because I would like this to be a successful thing. I really want to bring discussion of classic films to YouTube in a way that everyone can enjoy. I don't know if I'm the person to do it, to be perfectly honest, but I'm going to try, because I don't see a lot of people doing it. Yeah, you have people like the awards contender and Be Kind Rewind doing great retrospective videos on Oscar races, but you don't see a whole lot of videos on the movies themselves. I want to do that by using the Criterion Collection as a launching pad. Hopefully, you guys will join me for that, and that's going to be the big new series that we'll launch in 2026. Now then, what about some of the other channels? Like, what about Autograph Hound and things like that? Look, guys, I'll probably keep uploading videos to Autograph Hound, but that channel has had less than 100 subscribers for years. I'll probably just simplify it, where instead of doing like the commentary and the setup and things like that, I'll just kind of record the video showing what the autograph looks like, and we'll call it a day, because that's basically what is going to happen. I also plan to have a bigger presence on YouTube, in the sense that the out of theater reactions and stuff, not YouTube, TikTok, like the out of theater reactions will be posted on TikTok. I will not have the app on the phone, but I'm going to put them on TikTok, just like a little extra thing. So in case maybe that's all you care about is the out of theater reactions, then you can subscribe to the TikTok channel. And what else? I think there's, oh yeah, I also want to announce a friend of mine who loves my work and my channel and everything. He decided to help me one of these days. As you know, I have a website called iCritic.net. That is where most of my print reviews for movies in the entertainment business show up. But the website was on Blogger. It definitely could have used some work. And so my friend Steve Dan, he made me a new website. And I've been promising that I would show the website for a while, and I've just been busy. But I wanted to show it to you now. If you go to iCritic.net, you will find me. You will find my reviews, some editorials. The goal is to eventually hire someone to. There's only like the last 50 or 60 reviews that I've written uploaded on this channel, because unfortunately it's a whole different setup. It wasn't easy to just transfer everything over. You have to kind of recreate it all. I'm going to be seeking out some help to get all those old reviews cleaned up and uploaded. And we're going to try to start getting this into like a daily upload by February 1st, which means the updates are probably going to be a little sparse in January, but in February they will pick up. I will also be updating the best and worst films of the year lists. The latest YouTube video we'll put some select YouTube videos up here that we want to highlight. Of course, we are on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and things like that. And you should subscribe to all my socials and my channels on this platform. By the way, you can support me directly with direct donations, or you can become a Patreon member. Any little bit helps, especially since my job situation did change this week, hence the need to go back to Uber Eats for a little while. Let's change that. Let's change that background. That's more appropriate. So any support. But by the way, if you want a website of your own, and having a website is very important, whatever you do, because websites are security. You do have to pay for it, obviously, but it helps grow your business. It gives people a place to go. Steve Tex, this is the guy you want to go to. He will make you a great website. His website's loading a little, but he will help you out with whatever website you need. I highly recommend him. And so if you need a website, he's who you want to go to. But I definitely love love what he did for me on I am sorry, folks. We seem to keep having some issues with the streaming tonight. But in case you missed it, stevetex.com. He's who you go to get a website made. So hopefully you will enjoy that. And that's basically all the announcements I have now. Unfortunately, some of those comments you guys left, I can't see them anymore. So if you can, I'll see if there's an alternate way that I can get them. In fact, let me do this, and maybe the old comments will show here. We had over 35 people at one point. I'm sorry that the falling out. I don't know what's with StreamYard tonight. Just having some technical difficulties, I suppose. But well, while I'm waiting for that, let's answer this question. Will you be doing your worst movies of the year list through a video or a live stream? What is the main reason you don't want to have Rachel join you for that? Look, it's not that I don't want to have Rachel join me. I'm just trying something different this year. And it's not going to be a live stream. It's going to be an actual edited video. I think that was actually one of the reasons I want to do it. Those best and worst articles are a couple of my most read articles every year, but video-wise, the live format might have something to do with that. So I'm just trying something new. I'm trying to make it so that, there's less banter. They're shorter, they're more precise, they have more graphics, they have visual graphics. So it's just something I'm trying. I do not want to suggest that I have any issues with Rachel outside of the general disagreement on Christopher Nolan and Tenet. But I just want to try something different. That's all. So that it's just as simple as that. What's this feature? What's this feature do? Oh, well, that's it. That's interesting. Okay, so I guess, okay, let's okay, so that's interesting. So one of the questions that I see, let's see here. Oh, sorry. I just missed the question on the awards thing. So let's see. I'm going to ignore that. When you can see some of the dumb comments I get that we usually do not show. By the way, we can make them medium. We can make them big. We can make them regular. We can make them tall. Oh, there it is. Okay. Are you ready for Charles Olivier to win the BMF belt after beating Max Holloway? I don't watch wrestling. I'm assuming that's wrestling. I don't watch it, so I have no opinion on that. What was the absolute worst animated movie you have seen and reviewed in 2025? Well, that would be giving away too much. You're going to have to join me for the worst films of the year list, which will probably go up Thursday if plans go according to plan. Thursday is when the worst films of the year will be posted. Goodbye, Maduro. Did something happen already to that? I mean, geez, that's okay. Well, he's still alive. He's in America. He's going to go on trial. That is something that I have such mixed feelings about, to be perfectly honest. He is a bad man. He definitely needed to be taken out. But of course, as usual, Trump has to go and completely break the rules and the law to do it. And that's what I don't like. So, all right. What were other reasons why you absolutely hated and despised Sony Animation's first R-rated animated movie Fix from Animation Lenji Genndy Tarkovsky? That movie's garbage. It's not funny. I don't know what other reasons you need, to be perfectly honest. I have, in fact, let's just for kicks and giggles, let me pull it up. Let's see here. Go. Let me see if I can't pull that review up from my website, because that would be fun, huh? So my web browser's running slow. Maybe the issue isn't StreamYard. Maybe it's my connection. It still says it's live, and the bars are pretty good. But let's see here. But let's. I thought I had a search on the website. I'm gonna have to see if I can't get Steve to fix that for me and add. But here's the thing. That review was also shared and published on the Fandom Post, which is another site I write for. So if you want to see some of my work, you could check it out on fandompost.com. And in summary, this is what I wrote in summary. Traditional hand-drawn animation is much rarer in America than it is the rest of the world, and it's a miracle when one of these gets made at all. The animation team here was prepared, though. They were ready to show just how smooth and lively pen and paper could be in a world where AI is threatening to make everything look like silly putty. Animation teams like this don't get many chances to make an impression on audiences these days, and the fact that their big shot was wasted on Fixed feels extra insulting. I suppose I should end this review with a bad dog pun, but honestly, having to sit through this just once felt like getting kicked in the balls repeatedly, and I've had enough. So that was the summary of the full review of Fixed. All right. Why? Some of these questions you get. Why do they call it an oven if you in the cold food of out? I'm sure this was supposed to be funny, but just to let you know, you might want to make sure your wording is correct if you want to get the laugh. In fact, I know that we have like a California teacher in here. She's probably looking at this comment and just shaking her head at the absolute that this is just like not written correctly at all. For those of you who will be listening to this on the podcast repeat, I'm going to read this literally how it's written, and you tell me if you understand what's being said. Why do they call it an oven if you of in the cold food of out hot eat the food? I can honestly say I don't know. I can honestly say I do not know. So, do we have anything else, folks? Anything else? So I do enjoy doing this. Maybe one of the new resolutions will also be to live stream more often, maybe on Saturdays, just kind of, maybe I'll start talking about actually one feature on the Entrepreneur Media that I might want to do. I might want to talk about TV shows that are on DVD, but not on streaming, like the Jeff Foxworthy show, which I don't think the second season was ever released on DVD, but the first season was. It's a okay show. Although I'm watching American Dreams on DVD, which is also not available on streaming, and so far that show is pretty darn good. Of course, there's many anime like Love Hina. Love Hina, that was the first anime to be released over BitTorrent sites. They called it a digisub. These are the fun things we could do with the channel. So, all right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up right there. Thanks for joining me. And, well, if you enjoy the content, this is the first time here, subscribe, comment, like the videos. It really helps. I hope you found some information here that makes you excited about the new year, whether it be on iCritic or Entrepreneur. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.